Okay, we are in Karthwasten. Looks like a lovely night. We are going to be going for Bounty Uldar Ember Seeker. There's an outstanding bounty in Karthwasten for Uldar Ember Seeker. A hunter reported seeing someone matching the description immediately north of Karthwasten. So we haven't done much around the area of Karthwasten, so we're going to go pick it up. Map marker is this way. I'm gonna go pick up this quest. Starts curses and horses. There isn't much up there, so there's nothing really to teleport to. And that's out of the range of where we've already been. So we'll go over the bridge. And curses and horses might explain horse that keeps running away from us. That I keep telling it's okay, and maybe now it's not okay. I personally trust horses more than I trust most people. Who knows who I'm going to side with. It's mostly because I had an amazing horse when I was younger. And I love her so much. I mean, she was horrible to everybody else but me. To the point of shoving my brother into an electric fence while she really knew what she was doing. If people were not properly respectful, she would get revenge. She'd throw you off into a creek or scrape you off under a tree branch. Me, she liked. Other people, maybe not. So if your horse ran away from you, it might be a you thing more than a horse thing. Let's see. I take no pride in pleading for your aid, but as you can see, we ran into disaster here. Would you by chance be willing to bring back my horses? I'm a wandering merchant trying to earn an honest living. I was on my way to Markarth's side when these savages attacked us. One of them yelled some strange words at my horses.
It was a rock.
Next thing I know, they're running wildly back toward Karthwasten. We last saw two of them galloping up the dirt path on the side of the road into the forest.
It was a rock.
But these useless scraps of chicken I hired as escorts refused to go after them. I can't leave my goods alone, so I'm a little helpless here. If you manage to bring my 2 horses back, I'll pay you 200 septims for each horse you manage to find. See, I don't like this intrusive, say things constantly.
It was a rock. Who cares what kind of rock?
If you manage to bring my 2 horses back, I'll pay you 200 septims for each horse you manage to find. That curse made them ignore even my commands, so you'll have to calm them with magic to make them follow you. Luckily, in my wares, I have an enchanted amulet that could help you with that, so don't worry. Well, what do you say? I'll do it. Thank you. Here, take this. The amulet I was talking about. I'm not a mage, but as far as I understand it, it should help you with taming my horses when you find them. Keep your eyes open and beware. Reachmen are anything but the worst. Reachmen are anything but the worst thing living in these woods. Okay, what is this amulet? Amulet of Good Beast. Calm creature 10 points for 5 seconds. Okay. Yep, there's definitely something enchanted in there, but yeah, some of the things that NPCs say are funny, but if they're spamming it and you've heard it 4,000 times, it's less so. Okay, so if I see the panicked horses again, I know what to do with them this time instead of going, hey, honey, it's okay. No, it's really okay. They're cursed. They're sad. Okay, oh, it's close around here? We are going north. You gotta be a certain kind of yuck to curse a horse. I mean, rude. Is that you, honey? No, you look like a deer. Oh my. Okay. Guess who can fly? I guess who can't. Oh. Guess who couldn't fly? All right. Very pretty here.
Head on.
Speak up!
That's how I like it. Bold and direct. Come,
Take your
I
grievances
like
to
you.
one of my guards. I can't be bothered with trifling complaints. If you're looking to make yourself useful, then I can suggest a bounty to pursue. Nobody claimed a reward for Uldar Umberseeker. I can't give the reward to the local wildlife, so you'll have to take it as a finder's fee. 2 smugglers, Meshif and Thara Grokul, were recently caught in the act down at the docks. If that doesn't suit you, go to the notice board. Rocks, bundles of barley. Aurelius claims the shipment's being held indefinitely for investigation of smuggling. However, he offered to expedite the process if I retrieved something he had lost. A family heirloom that had been stolen from him by a pawnbroker, Zacucius Seria. The heirloom is a silver dagger with a red gem in the pommel. Okay. family heirloom. Ah, pawnbroker. Probably wasn't stolen. Just buy it back.
Head on.
Shall we barter now?
Corellius said what? He thinks I have a stolen family heirloom? Corellius has lied to you. He bet and lost that dagger to me in a game of 9 holes. I didn't realize how important it was to him. Tell you what, if you have some spare septums, I'll let you on a secret that will surely get your shipment released. Don't worry, I'll give Corellius his heirloom when I feel like he's earned it. I just want the dagger. Fine then, take the dagger. I don't need it anyway. I was even going to return it to him myself. Alright. Alms from Mara. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna go ask for more alms for Mara.
May the wind be on your back.
That's how I like it. Bold and direct. Come. I like you.
Okay. So she is the final quest NPC. This looks stupid.
What can Jeet do for you?
Take off your hat, please. Just please. Okay. Okay. Hidden Cache. Nahasar's love letter. A Red Guard in Dragonstar West named Nahasar asked me to take his sealed love letter to Misara, a Red Guard woman who might be found in the Shadow Key Tavern in Dragonstar East, and to tell Misara that her and Nisar's heart became one on the 13th of last seed. This is going to go bad places. Bad places. I'm a little torn because I don't know. I'm curious as a player to find out if I'm right that this character would drop that letter down a sewer. And so would I in reality, but
Should you need something,
This is a
I
grand
would be
day.
happy to
Greetings.
oblige.
there's no beer, but we've mead and wine aplenty. What can I get for you? Alms for Mara. Oh. These guys have already given me some and they're not... Okay, they're not going to give me the quest. Alrighty. So I am... I'm conflicted. Do I take a stand?
On your way.
May the wind be on your back.
Alms for Mara. Boy, this is a not fun quest, guys. Let's just ask everybody in town for 1 gold apiece.
I have many bargains. What are you looking for?
Alms for Mara.
So careless, these creatures.
Okay. I'm gonna do it just because. Going to make clear. Hi, Dovika. Yeah, you're stuck there forever, aren't you? Okay. I'm gonna do it just because I'm curious, but I know bad things
If
are
you
gonna
need a
happen
good
when I
laugh
do
or a
it.
tall tale, you've come to the right place.
Oh, not Brock yet. I don't want to join the Thieves Guild. Alms for Mara. Please make sure everyone knows I gave.
Do I drop the sweet roll or hand it over and come back later?
And ask Dovika for alms for Mara.
No.
Okay.
What Khajiit do for you?
Alms for Mara. What a good idea. I love Mara. Please, tell her I gave you this.
Talk is free. What do you want?
Can I help you with something? You say that you have a sealed love letter for me? Yeah, this is a terrible idea, but I'm gonna do it. A love letter from my dear Nahasar? Well, this has certainly brightened my day. Did he mention anything else? We'd like to remind each other of our special memories. He said that your hearts became one on the 13th of last
Now, where
seed.
did I put that?
Ah, what a wonderful day that was. A wall separates us now, but we can still be together through this letter. Please take this as a reward for your kindness. Okay. That's it? Can't be it. I'm gonna get arrested.
Greetings. It's not often I find
Only
such good
greeted
company.
friend.
Please,
Welcome.
Okay, so I need to return. Where is the Census and Excise Office? It always kind of surprises me that we have these amazing new worlds with magic and awesome stuff, and people like, here, go steal a sweet roll. Okay, I'm gonna go to the Temple of Diagna and see what I can do about this skull. Yeah, I'm gonna make sure that I don't port into their secret hidey places. It's a temple, by the way.
You've got my ear. Let's hear it.
For a foreigner, you don't look so bad. Well, thank you. Okay.
What's your story?
Diplomatic mission. Oh, I speak a different language. Sansatengai Nudri? What do you want in the Temple of Diagna? Have you come to learn the ways of Diagna, friend our Hunding in the Hunding? Let me just ask first. Diagna. You speak the name of Diagna. Mjornswani. Mi Ornswi. Diagna of the 27 snake folk slaughter. Diagna, god of the sideways blades of Orichalc. He's the Emperor Oshiru, the Tiger King, who led our people from the old land of Yokuda. Hunding. Hel Anse no Shira was a great hero, a sword singer, a sword saint who led the Red Guard people against the orcs and taught the way of blade mastery. And I believe, I've read a bunch of books about this, so I believe the sword singers are called Anse. Hunding. The Hunding is the god of Make Way, the savior of the Red Guard people. May he return to drive the foreigners from our lands. Diplomatic mission. Save me from the long-winded explanation. I do not negotiate with orcs any more than I negotiate with worm mouths or bears. Garelius at the Census and Excise Office has demanded you negotiate with the orcs. I care not a whit for whatever meaningless drivel that fool at the Census Office told you. I take orders from my god and my sovereign, and none else. Be gone from here. Well, that didn't work. Diplomatic mission, you could at least hear what they have to say. I know what they want. I will not give it to them. Is that answer clear enough? Orc, the boars of Maluk.
I should probably wash up before heading home.
Maluk, that might be Malakath, fought against the Red Guard people until Diagna tore down the walls of their stronghold and scattered their hordes. Now they've gathered again in a new stronghold, Nova Orsinium, an insult to our honor. Orsinium is a rotten heap atop a miserable Breton mountain, dependent on the whims of perfidious Manmer for its survival. Huh. I don't know what Manmer is.
I should probably wash up before heading home.
Its foul spawn occupy our lands across the Builsay, Sacratones, and cavort with foul demons, though our noble warriors drive them back into the hills again and again. This new orc town will fall to its own barbarity, just as its predecessors did centuries past. I spit on this King Gortwog and his pretensions. There are books about
Not a lot
Gortwog.
of pretty ladies around here.
There are books about Gortwog. There are, yeah, I believe Gortwog is in ESO, and you can go to Rothgar and Orsinium. Okay.
Not a lot of pretty ladies around here.
Okay. I don't know what to do. Missing Skaal. Oh, Prince Alactol or Garelius. Okay, so I need to speak with the prince. Because I don't care about Garelius. Which shows good sense. I wouldn't care about Garelius either. Okay, let's go speak to the prince. Oh, I like the fountain. That's nice. Dragonstar Crown Palace Throne Room. Alright. Oh. Alright, I can ritually... I need to be in water or near a bath. See, that's the thing. I'm near a bath, it doesn't care.
Talk is free. What do you want?
What's your story?
Tuktohan se Nudru. You are bold to approach me in my palace. What do you want from the Prince of Dragonstar? So. Diplomatic mission. I do not trust the intentions of this diplomatic mission. Orcs are savages, raiders, and brigands, and I cannot afford to risk my city's security by welcoming emissaries of their self-declared kingdom. What if I negotiated with the Diagnans and the temple on the orcs' behalf? Then they would never set foot in the western city. Suppose I could accept that. I warn you, though, do not test my generosity in this matter. Consider yourself with honor in your dealings with the temple. Okay, Lacush's remains. Don't occupy my time with talks of bones of beast folk. Okay, it's not a time for casual discussion. Let's not antagonize the royalty of the clearly completely corrupt city. Okay. Census and Excise Office. I mentioned I don't like these guys. Okay, good. Just, just to be clear.
Say your words.
Let's see if I can fall in on this side. Yep, I sure can.
I'm all yours. Please, go ahead.
If you want the last shipment of flour released, you'll need to bring me my stolen family heirloom. Did you retrieve it from Secutius? Yes, I have it. Thank you. I'll make sure the shipment is released. Take this note to Brock as proof. Okay. Okay, Brock's bundles of barley. Okay, let's go back to Diagna. And see what they have to say about what the prince said. I tattled to the prince.
Greetings. It's not often I find such good company. Please speak, Dumner.
Okay. Diplomatic mission. Prince Alactol has asked that you negotiate with me in the Orc stead to keep the situation from further escalating. Orc savages playing at diplomacy. How quaint. You certainly don't look like a diplomat, but I respect my sovereign, and if the exiled prince says I must treat you like an emissary, I will parley with you. I take it this is about the barbarian Lacush's remains? If what you say is true, then I am law-bound to consider your request. Speak quickly before my patience for this farce runs out. Could I buy the skull from the temple? Gods do not deal in drakes. What? Oh my god. Diplomatic mission. I've given you my answer. Ugh. All right. You know what? I'm not going to steal from a temple for this.
Stay as long as you like. It would be a privilege to
I'd be
talk with
okay
you.
fighting for it, but it won't even give me the option now. All right. Well, it's impossible to know as a visitor whether or not threatening the life of a temple keeper will get you, murderized very quickly. So, hey,
I
you want to
suppose
give some
I could
alms
spare
tomorrow?
a moment or two.
No? Okay.
You've got my ear.
All
Let's
right.
hear it.
Alms
I'm
for Mara?
listening.
No. Alms for Mara? No. I'm not going to steal a skull. This is this is a bad place. Rahabi Company Hall.
You've won me over.
Oh, look for a craftsman. Okay. Well, she's going to contemplate this for a little while. With the idea that the orcs are probably going to slaughter people. Alright, let me try again talking to the prince, see if anything has
Do you have
changed.
something to say, Dun?
Stay as long as you like. It would be a
Nothing
privilege
else to
to talk
say.
with you.
Alright. So she doesn't immediately jump toward let's fight for the holy thing. So in this case,
What did I do to deserve this honor?
okay. In this case, She might just leave sleeping skulls lie. All right, Brock. At least I can get the barley done. Holy skulls, I'm not so sure about.
If you need a good laugh or a tall tale, you've come to the right place.
Okay, Brock. Last shipment of flour. You managed to get Gorelius to release the shipment. Thank you. Here, take this payment. It's what I owe Braulyor with an additional 25 gold for your trouble and a drink on the house. Okay. Gave me 225 gold and a beer. Alms for Mara? 20 gold. Thank you, sir. That saves me speaking to 18 other people. Miss Sarah. A red guard woman? That's all you can tell me? I can't work with that. Okay. I think she's a spy. Okay. Brock's barley is finally handled. Seeking a supplier, a young Rahabi company merchant named Sorrel asked me to find a craftsman in the Dradic Highlands who could create trade goods for him. He recommended asking around Taliesin villages west of the city. Let's do that. Okay, I'm gonna just tell them, so far, no good.
How can I help you, friend?
Okay.
There are many creatures beyond the cities.
I
Good hunting.
don't know. Okay. So, Merduibh, is that Merda? Or is it French? Merde. Probably not French. Or is it from Dune? Modib. That would be a twist. Pretty waterfall. Hey, it's like Stonehenge. My husband is practicing his drone piloting, so he would be proud of going through something without hitting the walls or crashing. It's like a nice drone slalom. Okay, I'm glad there's nobody here to see me doing this. Alright. Pretty flowers. I saw a chest-like object. There we go. Okay, this just looks like a hunter lives here. She's not going to steal their potatoes. That's not necessary. She's not going to be terribly proud of herself for not stealing a potato, but baby steps. You can see I'm not saving as much anymore. My save level is based on my fear, and she's not really afraid of anything, so that's good. I should raise the difficulty. I should, but nah. This font makes me nuts. I can't tell if it's Bailknos or Bailenos. E's and C's should not look exactly the same. They're very different sounds, people.
Say your words.
Okay.
Yes. What is it?
Your new face. I'm Morristan. What do you need? I'm looking for a craftsman. A Redguard merchant is looking to buy Taliesin woodcrafts. Admit, I'm in need of gold, and this could bring some coin to my pocket. Here, this is one of my newer works. Show it to him, and if he likes it, I will accept the job. Okay.
Shouldn't be here.
Hello. Good day to you too, as well.
What is it?
Are you related to Darka? Never mind, she's undead. Well, it's really a... Okay. Alright, I'm gonna see if I have a quest to pick up here. Oh, I kind of like these. Except, you know, I never liked the ladders.
What is it?
Hi. The Taliesin have open hearths for visitors, and you may sleep in our visitor's hut. Oh. We are the Taliesin, fleet of foot and steadfast in piety, though the winds of the world may blow. Taliesin once ruled over all the northern mesas, but in the latter days we live only here, on sacred Darvacraig. Trap door. Oh. Oh! Okay, that's not so bad.
You've got my ear. Let's hear it.
Do not find what you're looking for. Travel south to Merdu, our bond camp. It's another village of the Taliesin, built around an old elven citadel. It's just southeast of here. Okay. You know, one more reason why nobody here has kids. Hi. We're gonna have a horrible ladder up, and then just a bunch of sticks. So that maybe you can grab onto them when you fall. Maybe you're gonna hit your head on them. We don't know. tough that starts in the cradle, which is why we don't really have any cradles. Kind of give up. Okay, where am I going? Oh, crafts. There we go.
Talk is free. What do you want?
What is the Rahabi Company? People call us the merchant captains of Dragonstar, warriors in times of conflict, entrepreneurs in times of peace. For us, commerce is just another form of swordplay. That's unique.
What's your story? What did I do to deserve this honor?
Look for a craftsman. Have you found anyone? Every wasted second is less profit for the both of us. You have the woodcraft. Good, let me see it. The craftsmanship is decent, but I don't think this is worth any more than 20 septims. Doesn't look particularly unique or interesting. You could get a better price by saying it has some magical abilities, like peace at home or better hunting. Yes, you're right. All right, tell that woodworker that he's hired. Here's your commission and a little something extra. Reachman Woodwork. Okay, has been removed from my inventory. All right.
You've got my ear. Let's hear it.
Okay, Dragonstar. I don't like you very much. I wish I was back in the Indoril Spa. Okay.
What's your story?
You want to give alms for Mara? No. Okay. I guess that's okay too. Ooh, I like those lamps. Alright, I like one thing about your town. I like lamps.
I'm sure it's around here somewhere.
Oh, and now I like lamp. Okay. Never mind. I'm at a moment. What is that from Anchorman? I like lamp. Okay, you know what? Let's... Seeking a supplier. Alright, I'm gonna head back to Taliesin. Balich noch. Sounds very Gaelic, doesn't it?
A hail and hearty welcome, friend.
So what did you think of my art? You liked it? Good to know. I guess you deserve something too. Here's 50 gold for you. Okay. Okay. Mages Guild regulated research. Impounded research at Taurus Hall asked me to retrieve it. Can't reclaim the research. I should come back with 6 diamonds instead. I've collected 81 gold so far. How much am I supposed to collect? Jesus, 300 gold? Ugh. I That's what I think about that. Alright, I am going to Taurus Hall, which is... going to go to Dragonstar, edge of it, pick up another quest, although the quest in this area is just... these are a total bummer, folks. All theft and corruption and commerce. Oh, wow, look at the sky. What the... wow. That... okay, I'm going the wrong way. But, still, distracting sky. I don't think it's supposed to look like that. But, I don't know. Magical cloud formations. Ooh, I blame Hagravens. Not my mod list. I'm okay blaming Hagravens. Alright, there is a quest up here which I am loath to take because someone's gonna ask me to ritually skin a puppy because that's the way my day's going. I'm gonna have to say no. And then they're gonna headbutt me and fall over, and maybe that will brighten up my day. Flying and headbutting and falling over are some of the greatest joys of Morrowind, and no one's gonna take them from me. Hey, baby. Hi! Gerskar! Hi! You there! Yes, you. No, your eyes and ears aren't deceiving you. Don't give me that look. I won't gore you. My name is Gerskar. Up until recently, I was just a normal hunter. I traveled to the Reach from Hafengar for a change of scenery and to see if I could bag one of those nasty worm mouths you hear talk about. Well, I found something exotic, all right, and all I got was the body of a boar. I went into the city the other night to check out the local fair. I possibly had a bit too much to drink. Oh, I am shocked in the Reach that people had too much to drink. All I remember is visiting the tavern and meeting a Reachman woman. Next thing I know, I'm waking up on the side of the road with the body of a boar and my belongings in a bag. She must have been a witch. So, okay. Can you find and talk to her? I'm in no state to go walking on the streets of Dragonstar. I'll give you as much as I can spare if you can get me restored back to my old self. Yeah. Sure, Gerskar. I've heard bad things about the local alehouse, so I was probably at the tavern. Shadowmare? Bee? Maybe one of the patrons there will remember what happened that night. I'll either be here or on a butcher's table when you get back. Hey, I like you, Gerskar. I miss my thumbs. I can't knock an arrow anymore. Or even pick one up for that matter. Oh, Gerskar, I am right there with you. If I couldn't knock an arrow, my goodness. You want to be my best friend? Okay, things are looking up here in the Reach. What was I doing? I was totally distracted by awesome boar. Right. Fort Taurus. Yeah, you know, it's kind of hard for me to like Nords. First, they're very yelly. And it is really hard to appreciate playing a game with magic in Skyrim and everybody going, ooh, I hate magic. Why would you hate magic? It's amazing. Ooh. Ooh. Alright. Hagraven Sky. Okay. Hey, you want to give alms to Mara? And I doubt it.
I'm an officer of the Imperial Legion. Move along.
Yeah. I'm not hanging out in town to complete this quest.
Why do you approach?
Ever
I think
consider
it's
joining the
unreasonable.
Legion?
There was a show. There was a show called X Play, which was a video game review show that I used to watch a lot, that I really enjoyed. But they were talking about when games are fun and when they're not fun, and they came up with like 2 game titles that occur to me occasionally. One is called Let's Wait in Line, and the other one is called Let's Count Sand, and this is a Let's Count Sand quest. I have probably spoken to 20 people, and I can't keep track of which one. I'm just going to wander in circles and go insane. So this is Sheogorath's town. This is a Let's Count Sand quest. I'm going to do 2 things. First, yeah, I'm gonna hide alms from Mara. I'm gonna stop tracking it. I'm gonna hide it. If I eventually get it finished, fine. If I don't, I don't really care. The missing Skaal. I'm going to untrack and hide because I don't know how to resolve that one, and I'm kind of disgusted with both sides of things. I'm kind of irritated with an orc insisting to get remains back, and I'm kind of, making it a diplomatic thing, and, good lord, can I just give you a skull? This is crazy. You guys are crazy. And I am also going to, I'm going to raise my difficulty by 25%. Gonna be amazing. And remind me, because I have to tell OpenMW to save this, or else I'll be back to regular difficulty. Yeah, I know I'm overpowered with all my mods. That's usually how I roll after being scrubbed for so long in testing. I consider those to be dues I have paid. Dues have been paid, people. And now I am hiding the quest.
Zenithar's fortune
Okay.
to you.
Are you up? Are you down? One of you is up. Okay. All the way up. Oh, what the hell? It's behind a locked door? Oh, I see. Right, that's the quest. Okay. Can I sleep here? No? No. Okay, let's see if I can talk them out of the confiscated diamond dust. Welcome to Taurus Hall. This is the headquarters of the peacekeeping operation here in Dragonstar. What can we do for you? Do you want me to suggest a bounty? You might have seen the posters. We need you to find and execute Cassius Suspilus. That bastard, a deserter from the Legion, turned to brigandry. And what's worse is that it's an open secret across town. We think he's taken refuge in a burned-out village to the east of here. Kill him and return to me for the reward. Alms for Mara. Ooh, thank you. Ooh, a whole 14 gold. Merdu. There's a... Yeah, I've decided it's Merdu. I might say it different next time. Or just Merd. There's a road that runs north to south. Okay. Reclaim the research. Some of our agents took in the packages you described. What does it contain? Give me my word, the contents of that package are no threat to anyone. Interesting, the agents who brought it in claimed it was dangerous and valuable. Perhaps they were mistaken. I'm inclined to trust the guild's expertise on this. Don't make me regret it. Speak to the jailer, Paratius, downstairs, and he'll return the package. Okay.
Go ahead, I'm waiting.
You're imagining things.
Oh wow, yeah, they're really
Yes?
keeping you. Okay. Reclaim the research. Commander said to return it? Fine. Okay.
What's
That's
this
good.
then?
Go ahead.
I think I got the quest from him. Yeah.
I'd be
All right,
happy to
let me
talk.
see if I
My
need to check
pleasure,
it in.
really.
Okay. Wait a minute. Maybe I did not accept it. All right. There we go. So we're more difficult. Hard to believe. And we got rid of some annoying quest headaches. Skaal test of loyalty. Okay, so we're headed back to Solstheim. Let's check up on it. Wind Eye has given me a scroll that shows the location of each of the standing stones, as well as a book that gives the history of the Skaal's beliefs. Okay, I don't think I read it. I probably put it... Oh, I don't remember the name of it. Doesn't come up on Skaal. Let's see if the quest gives me... Okay, here is the scroll, the story of Avar Stonesinger. This is actually a fairly long book. I read it in Skyrim, but I like this one. It's not voiced, but I'll read it. Sit quietly, child, and listen, for the story I tell you is the story of the ages. But what is it, grandfather? Is it a story of heroes and beasts? The grandfather looked patiently at the child. He was growing into a fine boy. Soon he would see the value in the stories, the lessons that were taught to each generation. Just listen, child. Let the story take root in your heart. In a time before now, long before now, when the Skaal were new, there was peace in the land. The sun was hot, and the crops grew long, and the people were happy in the peace the Allmaker provided. But the Skaal grew complacent and lazy, and they took for granted the lands and all the gifts the Allmaker had given them. They forgot, or chose not to remember, that the adversary is always watching, and that he delights in tormenting the Allmaker and his chosen people. And so it was that the adversary came to be among the Skaal. The adversary had many aspects. He appears in the unholy beasts and in the incurable plague. At the end of seasons we will know him as Thartag, the world devourer. But in these ages he came to be known as the Greedy Man. The Greedy Man, that is what we call him, for to speak his name would certainly bring ruin on the people, lived among the Skaal for many months. Perhaps he was once just a man, but when the adversary entered into him, he became the Greedy Man, and that is how he is remembered. It came to be one day that the powers of the Skaal left them. The strength left the arms of the warriors, and the shamans could no longer summon the beasts to their side. The elders thought that surely the Allmaker was displeased, and some suggested that the Allmaker had left them forever. It was then that the Greedy Man appeared to them and spoke. You of the Skaal have grown fat and lazy. I have stolen the gifts of your Allmaker. I have stolen the ocean, so you will forever know thirst. I have stolen the lands and the trees and the sun, so your crops will wither and die. I have stolen the beasts, so you will go hungry. And I have stolen the winds, so you will live without the spirit of the Allmaker. And until one of you can reclaim these gifts, the Skaal will live in misery and despair, for I am the Greedy Man, and that is my nature. And the Greedy Man disappeared. The members of the Skaal spoke for many days and nights. They knew that one of them must retrieve the gifts of the Allmaker, but they could not decide who it should be. I cannot go, said the elder, for I must stay to lead the Skaal and tell our people what is the law. I cannot go, said the warrior, for I must protect the Skaal. My sword will be needed in case the Greedy Man reappears. I cannot go, said the shaman. For the people need my wisdom. I must read the portents and offer my knowledge. It was then that a young man called Evar lifted his voice. He was strong of arm and fleet of foot, though he was not yet a warrior of the Skaal. I will go, said Evar, and the Skaal laughed. Hear me out, the boy continued. I'm not yet a warrior, so my sword will not be needed. I cannot read the portent, so the people will not seek my counsel, and I am young, and not yet wise in the ways of the law. I will retrieve the gifts of the Allmaker from the greedy man. If I cannot, I will not be missed. The Skaal thought on this briefly, and decided to let Evar go. He left the village the next morning to retrieve the gifts. Evar first set out to retrieve the gift of water, so he traveled to the Waterstone. It was there the Allmaker first spoke to him. Travel west to the sea and follow the swimmer to the waters of life. So Evar walked to the edge of the ocean, and there was the swimmer, a black horker sent from the Allmaker. The swimmer dove into the waters and swam very far, and far again. Evar was strong, though, and he swam hard. He followed the swimmer to a cave, swimming deeper and deeper, his lungs burning and his limbs exhausted. At last, he found a pocket of air, and there, in the dark, he found the waters of life. Gathering his strength, he took the waters and swam back to the shore. Upon returning to the Waterstone, the Allmaker spoke. You have returned the gift of water to the Skaal. The oceans again will bear fruit, and their thirst will be quenched. Evar then traveled to the Earthstone, and there the Allmaker spoke to him again. Enter the cave of the hidden music and hear the song of the earth. So Evar traveled north and east to the cave of the hidden music. He found himself in a large cavern where the rocks hung from the ceiling and grew from the ground itself. He listened there and heard the song of the earth, but it was faint. Grabbing up his mace, he struck the rocks of the floor in time with the song, and the song grew louder until it filled the cavern and his heart. Then he returned to the Earthstone. The gifts of the earth are with the Skaal again. The gift of the earth is with the Skaal again, said the Allmaker. The lands are rich again and will bear life. Evar was tired as the sun burned him. The trees offered no shade, and there was no wind to cool him. Still he traveled on to the Beast Rock, and the Allmaker spoke. Find the good beast and ease his suffering. Evar traveled through the woods of the Asinfir for many hours until he heard the cries of a bear from over the hill. As he crested a hill, he saw the bear, a falmer's arrow piercing its neck. He checked the woods for the falmer, for that is what they were, though some say they are not. And finding none, approached the beast. He spoke soothing words and came upon it slowly, saying, Good beast, I mean you no harm. The Allmaker has sent me to ease your suffering. Hearing these words, the bear ceased his struggles and laid his head at Evar's feet. Evar grasped the arrow and pulled it from the bear's neck. Using the little nature magic he knew, Evar tended the wound, though it took the last bit of his strength. As the bear's wound closed, Evar slept. When he awoke, the bear stood over him, and the remains of a number of the falmer were strewn about. He knew that the good beast had protected him during the night. He traveled back to Beast Rock, the bear by his side, and the Allmaker spoke to him again. You have returned the gift of the beasts. Once again, the good beasts will feed the Skaal when they are hungry, clothe them when they are cold, and protect them in times of need. Evar's strength had returned, so he traveled on to the tree stone, though the good beast did not follow him. When he arrived, the Allfather spoke to him. The first trees are gone and must be replanted. Find the seed and plant the first tree. Evar traveled again through the Herstang forest, searching for the seeds of the first tree, but he could find none. Then he spoke to the tree spirits, the living trees. They told him that the seeds had been stolen by one of the falmer, for they are the servants of the adversary, and this falmer was hiding them deep in the forest so that none could ever find them. Evar traveled to the deepest part of the forest, and there he found the evil falmer, surrounded by the lesser tree spirits. Evar could see that the spirits were in his thrall, that he'd used the magic of the seeds and spoken their secret name. Evar knew he could not stand against such a force, and that he must retrieve the seeds in secret. Evar reached into his pouch and drew out his flint. Gathering leaves, he started a small fire outside the clearing where the falmer and the ensorcelled spirits milled. All the Skaal knew the spirits' hatred of fire. The fires ravaged the trees they serve. At once the nature of the spirits took hold, and they rushed to quell the flames. During the commotion, Avar snuck behind the farmer and snatched the pouch of seeds, stealing away before the evil being knew they were gone. When Avar returned to the tree stone, he planted the tree in the ground, and the Allmaker spoke to him. The gift of trees is restored. Once again, the trees and plants will bloom and grow and provide nourishment and shade. Avar was tired, for the sun would only burn, and the winds would not yet cool him, but he rested briefly in the shade of the trees. His legs were weary and his eyes heavy, but he continued on, traveling to the sunstone. Again the Allmaker spoke. The gentle warmth of the sun is stolen, so now it only burns. Free the sun from the halls of penumbra. And so Avar walked west, over the frozen lands, until he reached the halls of penumbra. The air inside was thick and heavy, and he could see no further than the end of his arm. Still, he felt his way along the walls, though he heard the shuffling of feet, and knew that this place held the unholy beasts who would tear his flesh and eat his bones. For hours he crept along, until he saw a faint glow far at the end of the hall. There, from behind a sheet of perfect ice, came a glow so bright he had to shut his eyes, lest they be forever blinded. He plucked the flaming eye from one of the unholy beasts and threw it at the ice with all his might. A small crack appeared in the ice, then grew larger. Slowly the light crept out between the cracks, widening them and splitting the ice wall into pieces. With a deafening crack, the wall crumbled, and the light rushed over Avar and through the halls. He heard the shrieks of the unholy beasts as they were blinded and burned. He ran out of the halls, following the light, and collapsed on the ground outside. When he was able to rise again, the sun again warmed him, and he was glad for that. He traveled back to the Sunstone, where the Allmaker spoke to him. The gift of the sun is the Skaal's once again. It will warm them and give them light. Avar had one final gift he had to recover, the gift of the winds. So he traveled to the Windstone, far on the western coast of the island. When he arrived, the Allmaker spoke to him, giving him his final task. Find the greedy man and release the wind from its captivity. So Avar wandered the land in search of the greedy man. He looked in the trees, but the greedy man did not hide there, nor did he hide near the oceans or the deep caves, and the beasts had not seen him in the dark forests. Finally, Avar came to a crooked house, and he knew that here he would find the greedy man. "Who are you," shouted the greedy man, "that you would come to my house?" "I am Avar of the Skaal," said Avar. "I am not warrior, shaman, or elder. If I do not return, I will not be missed. But I have returned the oceans and the earth, the trees, the beasts, and the sun, and I will return the winds to my people, that we may feel the spirit of the Allmaker in our souls again." And with that, he grabbed up the greedy man's bag and tore it open. The winds rushed out with gale force, sweeping the greedy man up and carrying him off far from the island. Avar breathed in the winds and was glad. He walked back to the Windstone, where the Allmaker spoke to him a final time. "You have done well, Avar. You, the least of the Skaal, have returned my gifts to them. The greedy man is gone for now, and should not trouble your people again in your lifetime. Your Allmaker is pleased. Go now, and live according to your nature." And Avar started back to the Skaal village. "And then what happened, grandfather?" "What do you mean, child? He went home." "No, when he returned to the village," the child continued. "Was he made a warrior? Or taught the ways of the shaman? Did he lead the Skaal in battle?" "I do not know. That is where the story ends," said the grandfather. "But that's not an ending. That's not how stories end." The old man laughed and got up from his chair. "Is it not?" We get some Princess Bride vibes there. And it's very much in line with her experience. Cryptic gods telling you to do things with no directions, you have to search forever, and the elders basically saying, "We need your help. No prep, you're probably going to die." So, let us go. Wow, look at the map. Look at how little we've done. That's amazing. But it's slowly filling in. Alright, Soul's time. Okay. So the first one I see is over here. Let's see if I can find anything else. Alright. We're going to go to Raven Rock. If there is... Yeah, there's a port point. Oh, no, I haven't actually been there. Okay. That's Blood Skaal Barrow. Solstheim Mage Tower. Wow. Okay, this is the future location of Raven Rock, but it doesn't actually have a point just yet. What I can do is go to Fort Moonmoth and take a port to Raven Rock. It's an interesting choice to raise the difficulty level right before I go to the hardest zone. But there you go. Wow, that's really pretty.
I don't believe it.
Okay. Which
If you
one?
want something, now's the time.
I think he takes me to Locan. One of you guys should take me to Raven Rock, right?
I don't believe I've seen someone with such a grand outfit in some time. Can I help you?
Someone is supposed to be able to take me to Raven Rock,
Do you
right?
wish to go back to Vardenfell as much as I do? What about Raven Rock, where the new colony is...
Okay, Raven Rock. There we go. It's very pretty here. Alright, we are headed north to the Waterstone. I should know the locations of the stones. Like, the Earthstone should be here, really. But things are a little different. Yeah, you can tell the difference in the graphics and the shaders. It's a lot more... My mods work better here than in Tamriel or Cyrodiil. Better trees, better lighting. Thank you again for animated trees. What the hell? Big bear. Big bear. Little apprehensive to be... Wow, look at the ocean. Beautiful. What are the... Oh, there are trees out there? That's unfortunate. Weird. Okay. Let's look this way, shall we? That's pretty. So we're just going to aim toward what look like landmarks, so maybe we can pick up support points. We're not going to be doing much lingering until later when we're moving through and doing completionist to fill in the areas after we're done with questing and we move on to exploration. Alright, I am going to fly over here and pick up this port point. Oh, look at the snow. I'm so happy with that. This looks like a village. Are those rocks or homes? No, not a village. There is a dwelling, so let's pick up the port point, and in fact put down the tent, because she is going to go into this more prepared. This is someone's home? Galdir the Mumblers. Alright, we're just going to find a nice spot overlooking the beautiful ocean. Put down the tent and get prepared. Mentally and physically. Oh, I may not pitch my tent in the air. Okay. Give it a minute. Eat some food. Put down the basin now, although she knows this is a bad idea. She's heard that the Northerners bathe in very cold water. This is certainly cold. She's gonna give it a try. And yes, it's bullshit. She is still cold, but now she's clean and cold. Okay. It is beautiful. The weird trees are gone. We'll just watch the sunset. Listen to the cries of the birds. She hasn't seen much snow in her life. I'm gonna watch it settle on the ground and settle on her. Well, no, it's sizzling away on her fire shield. It says she's comfortable. Okay. Nice fire. Magic is an amazing thing. Alright, she's going to pray for a moment. She's not sure how wise it is to do this at night, but look at the moon. That's beautiful, and the constellations you can see in the sky, and the seabirds. True beauty to this. Water appears to be glowing from some source. That's beautiful. Normally that light would be coming from mushrooms. She doesn't know what it is, but it's beautiful. She's not going to go diving into cold water to find out. Minus 37 degrees. Let us not tempt fate. Okay. Oh. Hi. Did hurt a little bit, nothing she can't handle, especially if she summons for Daedra. Right now she doesn't think she needs them, but they're always there when she needs them. Okay. But I am going to save. It's fascinated by the glowing water. She's not really sure where the entrance is. Was she already there? Seems like she was already there. Yeah. Okay. Is this the stone? Alright, this is a little obscure. Okay, Waterstone. Your journal has been updated. Travel northwest to a small island off the coast and follow the swimmer to seek the waters of life. Northwest. Small island off the coast. Oh, that's beautiful. It's probably something that wants to kill her, but look at that. That's pretty. She's gonna get close and assume it's going to try to kill her. Hello? Hi. Yeah. Oh, it's a base slaughterfish in the sky. Well, that's less charming. Ice Wraith. There's the Horker. So we need to follow the Horker. Hello. Wow, it's dark. It might not have been a great idea to do this in the middle of the night. And I can't use a torch, so we're gonna have to stay really close. I'm so glad it's negative 33 and I am comfortable. Wow, that's dark. So, best to do this in daylight. She is terrified of Kraken sneaking up on her. Okay, it appears we are swimming off the map. Yeah, something did sneak up. Oh, Jesus Christ, it is a Kraken. And now the swimmer's gone. Oh, boy. Can't rest. Okay, thankfully there's a marker to the north. I'm just gonna keep swimming north. Alright, I am grateful for that. Okay, now I see a marker in the distance. Wow, that's scary. Nobody likes that. Can't help but look behind her to see if anything with very big jaws is sneaking up on her. Okay, so you can see the utility of water-breathing amulet and fire shield and all the stuff that would kill me at this point or make me cast spells every 5 seconds. She is grateful that she has the power to experience things like this. Although Horkers are not really majestic or magical. Okay. Waters of Life. I think I have to go back to the stone, right? Yes. I should have bound there, huh? Alright, I'm just going to go here and fly back north. And the next one I'm going to try to remember to mark at the stone. Hello, something that's probably want to kill me. A bear? Looks like a bear. Oh, no, that's a bristleback, I bet. Nope, bear. She's happy, she's fine. Like a snowstorm. Alright, with it being nighttime and the snow coming in, she's going to tactically retreat. And we will return later. But she's completed the first step of the Skaal's trial. And in fact, she is going to mark here. Oh, look. Stone is now active with water. She's going to mark here in case she needs to return in the future. And get out of the storm. She has respect for bad weather and negative 40 degrees. Based on her foolishness of going out into cold water in the middle of the night, she's going to reconsider. A loathsome civilization.
A Loathsome Civilization by Tellinger the Artificer. A scholar's research notes on the Slode. A most unexpected curiosity has entered my collection after being appropriated from a defeated Malmarie fleet. Why this text was aboard one of the vessels, I cannot guess, but it appears to be the journal of a diplomat to Thras written before 1E2260. Though it is damaged, the descriptions of the Slode that remain legible are fascinating, assuming this is not some strange work of fiction or forgery. If it is legitimate, it is a remarkable find, as the Slode were loath to treat with any of the races of Tamriel. We know that the slug folk of Thras practiced foul necromancy, but their involvement with that dread art may have been more prominent than previously thought, if this is an authentic text. The author expresses frequent disgust at interacting with reanimated slaves. It seems the Slode also slaughtered and revived various sea creatures, turtles, crabs, and the like to keep as pets. His repulsion did not end there, though, as he complained about the repugnant smell of the Slode, the several inches of slime-coated water upon the floors of any land-based building, and the various molds and fungi served as food. There are mentions of elaborate sacrificial rituals, which I find unusual given their general rejection of worship. The Slode certainly entered pacts with the Daedra when it suited them, but the ceremonies described here are not indicative of typical Daedric sacrifice. They may have spent years grooming individuals to participate in reenactments of the deeds of Slode mythological heroes and villains, with the eventual performance, which may have lasted weeks, culminating in the deaths of every actor by the application of desiccation crystals to the body. Ancestor worship, unnamed deities, preservation of ancient magics. It is impossible to tell. More intriguing is a badly damaged entry that discusses an audience in the submerged tower of an elder distended one. I can make out little of the discussion between the two, but there are mentions of an impressively corpulent body and strangely pulsating head, and 3 eyes that emerged upon its belly, that each opened again as a toothless mouth, disgorging unreadable, that the attendants eagerly consumed. This is the first insight I have encountered into potential cultural leadership among the Slode. It has caused me no end of frustration that the entries chronicling a visit to the menagerie of sublime infection are nearly unreadable. Aside from the name, almost nothing of this section can be deciphered, aside from several unnerving words implying all manner of affliction, from suppurating extrusions and blood rot to festering miasis. Much about the Thracian plague remains a mystery, and perhaps one that is best left buried. I cannot, however, deny my interest in the whys and wherefores of the grotesque fascination with disease expressed here. Now that I have documented my own immediate reactions to this text, I must send it along to colleagues in Alinor to hopefully verify its authenticity. Whether or not there is anything useful to be gained from it, at the very least it may add to our understanding of a terrible enemy to all the races of Tamriel in the unlikely event that such a threat re-emerges. If anything contained herein is factual, let us pray to Auriel that it never does.
Okay, so the slug people ritually killed people with desiccating crystals, which means you kill the actors by pouring salt on them, which is... ew. A most unfortunate party.
A Most Unfortunate Party by Ardal Lunway of Sunhold. How the Altmer experienced Breton hospitality, I found the very notion of his invitation most horrible. Caradhyan, through an acquaintance in High Rock, had the most unpleasant honour of being invited to a party held by the Nema King of Wayrest. Naturally, Caradhyan found the offer most unappealing, though he could not fathom being rude enough to reject, and he was resolved not to go through such an ordeal alone. Having most of his associates suddenly finding themselves important duties, which would last for a month or two, he had come to my residence at the unusual time of 15 minutes past 3 in the afternoon, to personally ask for my companionship. Without any knowledge of the ulterior intentions of his visit, I found myself unable to remember any important duties I had, which would unfortunately occur for the duration of the said party. As such, I was inclined to agree. After leaving my residence, Caradhyan immediately sent message that he and I would be attending. Having no understanding of the bizarre Nema aristocracy, if one is allowed to be so crude as to use the honourable word to describe it, I conversed with Itatila the zoologist as to what to expect. He informed me that the food would most likely be of the poorest quality. The music could be of the most awful noise, and the attire of the beast-like guests would fail miserably at appearing extravagant. He suggested that I ensure my sound spells were exceptional, and that I ensure to practice the nerve, that I be careful, no, neither eat nor drink anything other than what I bring with me, and that I show them true extravagance and style through my attire. As I arrived at the pristine harbour to leave Alinor for the wild lands, word of my departure had reached an Imgar of the Valenwood, who gifted to me a perfumed cloth, and a warning that men have a most unpleasant smell. Both Caradhyan and Itevtila had failed to mention this fact, and I admit I was most furious. I confronted Caradhyan, who, instead of conversing about the fact, abruptly changed the subject to him having a heart attack. He then had the nerve to ask me to summon a healer for him. I told him that I would not, and that I would be most unpleasant with him for the trip. He wasted no time in clutching for his chest and falling dead. I could not believe that he would go as far as die to weasel out of attending the party. Even worse was that he left me to go there alone. The sail to Wayrest was most disastrous. The ship was of a poor Colovian design, and the captain was a brutish and unpresentable Nema by the name of Garius Asadumplodus, or something along those lines. When I walked onto the ship, he had the nerve to dare ask for my hand for assistance to get on the ship. When he caught me staring at his disfigured face, his face was most disfigured and hideous, and I could not help but observe it for a prolonged duration. He told that he gained his scars, as he called them in war, the horrible brute. Worse still was the crew. All of them were Nema with subpar manners. In the evening, they consumed wines from their own horrid homes, laughed and talked loudly, and played terrible musical instruments called the fiddle. I was most pleased when other Nema boarded the ship and killed them all. My good faith, however, went unrewarded when they then had the nerve to demand I gift them my jewels. I shamefully admit that I lost my temper at this point. When I finished with my fireball spell, the Nema were dead, and the sailing vessel began to lose buoyancy. With other passengers, I had to move my luggage onto another boat, which miraculously was placed next to ours with a plank for ease of access. This second vessel was most insufferable. If the gods had taken such care as to give me another vessel, the least they could have done was make it adorable, painted white with gold leafing and encrusted jewels on the trims, perfumed, shaped like a swan, and complete with a crew of even the lowest species to work it. This boat was cramped, effluvial, and it lashed around with the waves. It took a lot of effort on my part to get all the other passengers to work the vessel. They were completely incompetent and useless, and they had no appreciation of how hard management was. The journey was taking far longer than expected. I informed them that I was a very important Altmer who was going to a party held by the King of Wyrest, and that I could not be tardy in arriving. They jeered at me and said they had no food. I told them that they should have been prepared like me and brought their own, and that it was their own fault they were hungry. It was a week before we finally reached the Iliac Bay. By now, they were quite thin and demanding. I give them some of my food. Despite my best efforts, they could not understand that a zoologist and a talking ape warned me that the food at the king's party would be unpalatable. The gardens were clearly managed by those untrained in horticulture. I could continue at length at the shortcomings of the city and men in general, but I fear I would go on for quite some length doing so. I made sure my entrance from the sailing vessel was most impressive. I wore my finest clothing of the highest Somerset quality, and the most fantastic jewels I purchased in Shimmerine. I espied some truly vulgar-looking Nemer dockworkers and, falling below my dignity, informed them that I was attending a party at the King of Wyrest, and I needed to be supplied with a gold coach drawn by silver stallions for an appropriate entrance. Instead of making the arrangements post-haste, as one might expect, they chose instead to stare at me as if I were mad. I then realized the full extent of the uselessness of men, so I had no choice but to arrive at the party on foot, walking through the foulest streets I have ever had the displeasure of witnessing. When I arrived at the palace, which resembled little more than a moderately sized crude hovel, the guards had the audacity to ask who I was and what business I had at the palace. I informed them that I was Ardalen Way of Sunhold, a very important mage in residence in Alenor, and that I was the most important guest at the party being held at the palace. For the first time on the journey, these men had the proper manners of formally welcoming me to the palace and opening the gates for me. They also informed me that great lengths had been made to ensure that the party was most entertaining and memorable. I ambulated through the gate to the door of the palace. Other guests had assembled there, and I clearly saw they were little more than common riffraff from all untamed corners of Tamriel. I did, however, have the dignity of being the only Altmer in attendance. As I begrudgingly approached the rabble of guests, they all averted their eyes from me. As much as they vociferously tried to pretend it was because my clothing and jewels were reflecting the sun into their eyes, I knew it was truly because my attire was so exquisite that they could not bear to look at me due to the shame of their own inadequate attire. Realizing that nobody at this party was worthy of my acquaintance, I positioned myself toward the front of the guests, so that when the king arrived, he would see how spectacular I had prepared myself, and also so it was unlikely I would be approached by any upstart pretenders. Unfortunately, I was approached by a mere human, who had the audacity to consider himself worthy of my acquaintance. He introduced himself as Prince Edwain, or some other horribly archaic Nimer namesake, and informed me he was a cousin of the king. Oblivious to my failing to be impressed by either his title or his relations, Edwain continued to ramble about the party, how they had the finest meats Tamriel has to offer hanging in the meat locker, how they imported vegetables directly from some untamed regions of high rock, the silverware purchased in Cyrodiil, and other topics of little importance. He then continued to speak of other, far more uninteresting matters, such as the well-being of his family, a failed imperial succession, and so forth. I was about to paralyze him when the king timely arrived, and Edwain fell silent. The king and his consorts arrived in a golden carriage pulled by silver stallions. I was most unimpressed with the craftsmanship of the carriage and the breed of the steeds, and was most glad I did not arrive in one. The king proceeded to introduce himself and his entourage, welcomed and thanked everyone for attending, said that fine entertainment had been planned, and wished everyone partook, and wished everyone enjoy themselves. I knew already he was mad thinking that it was possible to enjoy this party, but as any respectable Altmer I kept such failings of their reasoning to myself. The gates to the palace were opened, and everyone, myself included, entered. There, in the entrance hall, hanging by a noose created from poorly woven bedsheets, was a poorly dressed and lifeless human boy. Hitherto, that moment, I had been under the distinct impression that only the Bosmer consumed their deceased. I found that they called the entrance of a palace a meat locker, as that Edwayne had said was most illogical. What was even stranger was that the guests seemed upset that they had decided to eat this boy, and were crying he was so young. The king, upset like the rest of them, proceeded to usher everyone into the next room, and asked them and myself to try and enjoy the rest of the evening. The music played in the hall was a most horrid screeching noise. They had clearly not gone to any lengths to try and make the food served palatable, or to purchase finely made silverware with which to place it on. I took a position by the window and cast a sound spell on the room, so I could no longer hear the painful screeching of their musical instruments, nor the unintelligent babble of their attempted conversation. I stood for what must have seemed 2 hours and 37 minutes, when suddenly a band of their guards burst into the room, and so began the awful display of entertainment they had tried to get everyone involved in. The guards proceeded to start hacking at the guests with crude swords, and the guests proceeded to act like they were being mercilessly slaughtered. This entertainment was so vulgar and distasteful that I immediately proceeded to leave the palace and return to Alenor. The Bretons proceeded to block my exit and began to start waving their swords at me. I blasted them with a fireball and swiftly left the palace. Seeing that the entire city was in pandemonium, I recalled to my study in Alenor. At this point, you are unable to discern any further information, as the pages beyond this one are covered in doodles and scratched out
Scribbling. Okay, one question is the word Nemer. So Nedik is human and Merethic is elven. So Ned and Mer. Putting them together with Nemer is, I believe, man-elf. But a high elf would never besmirch the concept of Mer by putting it near man. So in this case, I think it was a made-up word by the author who kind of got it wrong. But okay.
A Noble's Best Tricks by Sir Dorthan Moros. A nobleman gives some easy advice for self-improvement. The first trick all nobles must know is to go to bed early. You could stay up late, but the haze of sleep would ruin anything you did from that point on. It's better to do no work, I always say, than bad work. The second trick nobles have to know is to rise early as well. You've already slept, and now it's a new day. Nothing can stop you from working or playing. The third trick is a little family secret of mine. Every morning, have a little glass of grief, but then... This is the secret. Mix a small dash of moon sugar in with the beverage. That kicks you out of your morning grog, and everything seems fresh and new. The fourth is a weekly bath. This may seem excessive, but in reality, people are much kinder to nobles who have bathed recently. Deals are much easier to make, and ladies never say no to a man without dirt on his back. The fifth trick is to buy low and sell high. While this is truly common sense, in practice it is more difficult to accomplish. All merchants have the same idea, but what you must do is push, push, push. Why should they take your money when you can just persuade them to give theirs to you? Don't be ashamed to use your status to get a good deal, for that's why you earned it in the first place. Trick number 6 is to greet people in higher positions than you with an exuberant, "Good day." It's always wise to have friends in high places, and with their help, you may one day achieve a higher position than them. The 7th trick is expensive, but extremely useful and invaluable. You should go to your local guild of mages and have them brew you a potion that makes it easier to influence others with your natural charm. There are many social and professional situations where you can tip the balance of the conversation your way by quaffing a potion before entering it. Telvanni bug musk works as well, though sometimes may be more expensive than the potion. The 8th is simply a shallow way of increasing status. Keep at least 100 gold in a pouch with you at all times and walk so it jingles. An unpleasant Nord once tried to ask me a question, but I jingled my gold at him and he shied away. It can work for you, too. Trick number 9 is to put a bit of marshmallow oil in your hair to smooth it. Many a lass and nobleman have been awed by this prime little feat when I performed it, and it most likely will work for you as well. For who wants their hair strewn haphazardly around their head? The 10th and final trick is to learn the secret of winking. This trick is the most important, because it endears all the recipients of the wink to you immediately. The cause of this is unknown, but believe me, it works. Hopefully these 10 tricks for nobles will work as well for you as they have for me. Good day, and a very good bye.
Okay, that was a weird day. She doesn't particularly like Nords, and now she's adding red guards to that list of people and cultures she doesn't particularly care for. And she wishes she could give Mara alms, but mostly she's just now annoyed every time she hears Mara's name.